Good morning, party people. Say happy Father's Day to all of my followers, fathers who are followers out there. Uh, as I've said at the in the description of this particular live stream, um, uh, my Father's Day is going to be spent building a chicken coop. So, as my body has limits to how much it'll be able to do before it starts screaming in pain. That's what I'm going to be putting my physical time into is when my sons show up here, we're going to go out there and start building that chicken coop. And then we're going to enjoy smoked brisket and ribs. And yeah, so the reason I have this towel here is, let's see if I can, if she's going to, there she is, my pea chick. We're calling her she until we know better. So, and she likes to just be snuggled just like any chick likes to, but yet she likes to be up on my shoulder. So there you go. She's going to get too big for the shoulder at some point. Who knows when that'll happen? But if I don't put the towel over her, she starts sitting there and running around my. It's hilarious, kind of. Let's see what happens. I'll show you. Oh, there we go. She'll start doing a run around my neck, under my beard, back around my beard. She'll scratch at me with her sharp claws, talons. There, let's bring her closer and show you. She's got talons now, and she's absolutely adorable. She's starting to get her little pea chick, or peacock, peahen. The peahens have them too. Feathers here on the top of her head. She's injured her head, and the couple of times we've gone outside to let her just roam, she seems to always knock her noggin on something and take off a layer of feather and skin. There you go. Actually, we're going to take you down here for a second because I want to put the towel on my neck so you can't scratch my neck so much. There you go. There you go. Go ahead, type to everybody because I know it's exactly what you're going to do now. Let's type it to everybody. Yeah. Hey, and Kevin is joining me on Discord in case he wants to pipe up and say howdy. And other
Well,
folks,
hello.
yeah, there it is. Let me turn you down a little bit. That was loud for everybody on YouTube. Say it again there, Kevin.
Hey, Jack.
Good old trail dust. Yes, there we go. So trail dust joins us via voice if he wants to jump in and say hello because he gets too busy to type. If other people would like to have that same benefit, just send me a private message on Facebook or on. If you're already part of my Discord, you can send me a message there, or you probably already can see that I've got the live stream chat live now. Um, whatever other ways that you follow me, you can always message me. Obviously, if you're in the stream right now, you can just send a message on the stream, and then we can connect in a more private setting as far as how to get you to be able to do voice chats. Um, it's really easy, actually. You just have to have Discord, and I then invite you to my Discord. Stuff real easy. If you don't have Discord and you want to, you just have to message me wherever you can message me, and I can drop you a Discord link, and that'll get you um, uh, to the point where you can set up Discord and so forth, set up your account. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and uh, pivot over to the actual effort of the day, the creating part of the creating with Jack Pines, um, and that is done here. So I actually was really looking forward to getting out and smithing today because I'm not hurting for the first time in a while. But, you know, I know what'll happen if I do that, and then I won't be able to do anything else for the rest of the day. So we're going to go ahead and sit out that effort today. We'll get back to that probably next week. And why? Come on. Am I in the part studio? That's what, no, that's where I want to be. Oh, because I need to actually log back in again. So the last thing I was designing was for my wife. And that was this uh, egg, uh, uh, what do we call this? An egg cradle for her. Um, I'll bring it over so you can see it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I hear you. There it is. I knew we have two of these, and currently one of them is incubating eggs. So I'll bring over the other one. And does it have the cradle in it? It does not have a cradle in it. So we'll go ahead and grab one of the cradles, the originals, and I'll bring it over. Doo, 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 doo. All right. Go back over here. So this is the incubator. It's just a little incubator, and it's able to hold five chicken egg cradles in it. Here's what one of those looks like. Okay. As you can see, what I've got in here now, um, let's switch back over to, well, actually, I'll show you. You've seen the model. Here's the outcome. And it's printed in PETG, which is heat and moisture resistant, better than PLA is. And so, it basically fits right in, slots right in to where the original goes. But being that it's wider, you probably could only put, um, well, I don't know. I haven't tried because haven't printed out that many because we don't have um, enough turkey or peafowl eggs to incubate, or that we want to incubate. So I've printed out two of these, one in black and one in this translucent purple, and it just slots right in. Um, and you can see I put in the ventilation to make sure that there's no problem there, and works perfectly. So that was the last effort. So now that that has been delivered to my wife per her request, I can turn back to the original project going on here in CAD. And let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and switch back over to CAD. And that is, let's go back to, I think I just go here. There we go. That is what I was making for my sister. And that's this one, the amethyst stand. And what we can see here, where we left off. That's what we did. Where we left off was to, uh, we've got all our various sketches, we've got all our various outputs, and all I was doing was learning how to place a spline that I can then build the actual part that'll hold um, the amethyst. So we've got the base drawn here. We've got the spline drawn here from on the various levels that I've created to make this work. Um, and if we want to see how that looks, there's that and that. And all I was doing at this point was adjusting the locations. Make sure I can remember how to do all this. The locations of the spline to allow for a vine to come up and become a tendril. Um, and it does require just a little bit um, of toying with it. Come on, escape. There we go. Because the tendril will start out at one diameter at the bottom and become smaller and smaller as it goes up. That's why the circles get smaller and smaller as it goes up. So the key thing here is to make sure the circles never actually intersect, but just get tangential to the um, the amethyst itself. Now, this is all still rather, how can I put this? It's all still rather estimations because this is not the actual. Let me just get back to a view that makes this make sense. Um, there we go. This is not actually the shape of the amethyst. This is just an approximation, sort of like all um, uh, chickens in physics are spherical objects. Um, and we all know that's not true, but you got to start your estimation somewhere. Um, so that's what I did here is I basically, you know, got the dimensions from my sister of critical points on the amethyst. And a matter of fact, the amethyst itself comes to a point at the top. Um, so the fact is, I might need to put another level up here to hold it even closer to where it starts going back, in again. Um, so we'll see about that. But the point is, we can try this first, and then I can send it to the 3D print to my sister so she can just set it in there and see how it behaves, if it fits properly. And I'll put, you know, four of these around here, and they shouldn't interfere with each other. We'll find out. Um, so that's that. And then I think I've mentioned it to folks. The attachment will be a square hole punched in the bottom here. And each of these will have square pegs that go into the square holes. So to prevent the vines from twisting, obviously, when they're placed in the stand. So back to what needs to get done to make this all work. We need to make sure that these circles don't intersect, and it looks like they do not. So it looks like I already did that effort. This is just me eyeballing it. Oh, come on. Too far in and everything becomes over exaggerated. So it's it can be rather hard to tell. Um, let's go and hit that. Zoom in here. It can be hard to tell, but normally here I can demonstrate it. If it's in too far, um, make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Oh, this is because I did a selection. My mistake. All right. Nope. There we go. What I really meant to do was edit the sketch at the right height. So we're going to go right here. Let's make sure I know which height that is. That is, I labeled them. That was nice, right? Vine height 2. So we want vine height 2 sketch. There we go. And just zooming in here, it looks like it does overlap it just a hair. So I'm going to go ahead and move that out just a hair. The worst thing that happens is that it basically, yeah, there we go. That's better. All right. Hit that. Then we can go to vine height Scroll out. That was vine height 2. I think this is 2.5. I don't know. I must have put one in between when I did all these. And we can zoom in here. And you can see that doesn't actually butt up against it. So we can change that like that. And accept that one. Let's go take a nice gander at each of these. Vine height 1 is just to make it look pretty, a nice smooth look. And this is all just so I can find out if um, their basic shape that I'm going to send off to my sister lines up neatly with what her crystal actually is like. We'll probably have to do um, get some guidance back from her to understand where the gaps were, where things didn't line up well, etc. But this is the basics. And then we will um, actually make adjustments and fine tune things in the smithing itself. It's all tricky because I don't want her to have to ship her precious to me. Um, let's see. That looks pretty close. Let's see this one. That looks pretty close. And then finally, this one. That looks pretty close. Okay, I think I can leave it at that. Now we're just going to go ahead and see if I understood the assignment here. And see if I can properly use loft to connect these circles on that path. Never done this before, so we're going to go turn. Let me see, what do I need to turn off to make this work? 3D fit spline. I don't quite understand what this is. Let's see if I understand. Vine sweep reference, sketch reference, 3D fit spline. I'm going to hit escape. Cancel that. Base of pool stand sketch. Disable port. Vine sweep ref sketch. I don't know why I created that. I'll come back to that and figure it out. This says it's not fully defined. Probably because it's just floating in space. We're going to see if it's going to let me get away with that or not. It may not. We'll know in a minute. So we're going to do loft. Nope, we're going to do sweep. There we go. We're going to try to use that, 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 that. This may be wrong. It may not be sweep. It may be loft, like I said before. But until I try it, as this is not something I've done before, then we go here and we say sweep path. We take that. What does none mean? Keep profile orientation. Nope, don't care about that yet. We're going to do a solid. We're going to do a new. And it does. Okay, so there's the mistake. That's why we can't use this. So we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to try loft instead. We're going to do loft. This, 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 this. Nope, that was a mistake. Try that again. This, this, And come on, this. So that looks amazing. And now I think I remember doing this before and finding that it wasn't quite what I was anticipating because it does something weird here. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I did that wrong. We want path. We need this to be the path. Then we need, let's get rid of all these. Let's try this again. Curve one, guides and continuity. This, 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 and this. Okay. And then we'll do start profile. No, profiles. There we go. Profiles. This one and this one. Let's see what happens. Let's turn off path. There's definitely something I'm missing here about how this is done. Okay, so path, connections. Let's try this. Huh, maybe this is the right way. Hard to know until I get to two, three, four, five. There should be six uh, sections. So did I? Something I did wrong here? This to be a new. Let's go over here and try to figure this out. Look, go first here. I am trying. I'm just going to see if ChatGPT has a clue on how to help me here. To create the impression of a vine wrapping around a crystal. I have created smaller and smaller circles following a spline path. Each circle just barely touching the crystal. I don't know how to create the final geometry. The final extruded, that's what I want. I tried to use, get rid of this, go back here, sweep, doesn't understand. I want to have the vine taper. I tried loft, but get a strange inching near the base. Is the correct way to do this? I don't want AI to do things for me. Occasionally, it's useful. Um, they can get things done faster than I can, but more often than not, I just want AI to educate me. The pinching at the base happens when the profile centers and curve path are misaligned or not perpendicular. Using vertices for connection can cause interpolation artifacts if the path isn't smooth between planes. Use loft with profiles and guide curves. Instead of relying purely on profiles, introduce a guide curve to control how the profile progresses along the path. Gives you clean control over the vine's taper and shape. Make sure your profile sketches and circles are fully constrained, centered on the spline, path spline. Centered on the path spline. Use construction geometry if needed. On planes that intersect your path, use your 3D fit spline. Yeah. In the loft dialog under guides and continuity, enable guide curves. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Guides and continuities. We're going to get rid of all this. So there's the guides. Select the spline. Done. Increase section count if needed. Use set section count equals 5, which is generally good. Try increasing this if you see harsh transitions. Double checks plane geometry. So profiles. Let's try this now. I forgot. We need to start here, then move up. All right. Let's see if this helps. There we go. Why is this one not working? 1, 2, 3. We're going to do this. We're going to try it out. I messed it up somehow and I don't know how. So I'm going to try this again. So Kevin, how you planning on spending Father's Day? You have any grandkids coming over?
No, actually, my wife left this morning, um, go see our two oldest grandkids.
Nice.
So it's just me and my youngest here today.
Okay.
So nice and quiet. We'll get out and do some foraging and other metal work and bed.
That sounds like a good day. Nice, quiet, little time in the smithy. All right, I'm starting this all over because it feels like somewhere along the way I selected something I should not have. So we're going to do this all over. We're going to get myself a nice, yeah, because now it's not putting that weird red ring in there. Now it's behaving the way I expected it to, which is still not right, but it's better than it was. All right, so there's that. And then there's that weird pinch that I was talking about. That's where it breaks. Interesting. The guides and continuity part is where it breaks. What about path? Maybe not guides and continuity, maybe edges, curves, and sketches. That's cool how that works. Let's go and let's put a lot more. Let's see what happens because I have no idea what that means. There's the problem right there. It's doing something really weird right there. Holy moly, I think I did it. See what happens when I take these out. Well, that wasn't good. Let's put it back. There we go. That is freaking cool. I just tripped over it as I did have done most of my career. I basically try things and see what works. And when it doesn't work, I try something else. I try not to be insane about it and repeat my mistakes. But that looks like a freaking tendril. I think I can hit that and be really happy about it. All right. Just going to open it back up again so I can get my get a screenshot of what worked versus what didn't. Oh, come on. Give me the front. Just give me front view. I'm going to rotate it to where I want it. Nice. Wish it wouldn't tilt weird like that, but there we go. We can turn off all these uh, reference things now. Do, 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 do. Don't need that or that or that or that or that or even that. Now it all fits on there nicely. Now all I have to do is basically rotate that. I will have to add the tenon and the hole that the tenon will go into. That's going to be pretty easy though, I think. It'll be both an extrude and an add, or an extrude remove and an on the base and extrude add on the vine. What do you think, Kevin? Can you see it?
Uh, Give me a moment. There's some lag between Discord and YouTube. Okay, now I see it. Looks pretty good.
Yep, I think it does. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and put a square tenon in the base and then a square tenon in here. The square tenon in the base is going to be easy. We actually go right back up to where I defined the base. Uh, One thing I do need to do before I do that, though, is I need to know what size did I make that circle. So I need to go back to that sketch, which I think, let me see. Nope. Where did I put that sketch? Probably down at the bottom. No, no, no. Do, 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 do. Where did I put you? Wasn't there, wasn't there, wasn't there, wasn't there. I had to have drawn it. There it is. Pool stand sketch. Go here. can even see that I've defined what the square will be. I don't know why. I think I know why. I was going to say, I don't know why I made those. Just need to know where that was. I don't want the whole kit caboodle. I need to know. Pool stand sketch. There's that. Okay. No, it's actually there. We're just going to go here. We're not going to make those. We're going to do that and that. They'll no longer be reference. They will literally uh, become part of what gets extruded. We hit that, and look at that. I now have a square hole. Now, why did the extrusion disappear? Didn't think it would. Somehow. First part. Do I have to do a whole separate? That would be hilarious. Kind of weird that I would have to. Connections, path, guides, continuity. There's this, there's that. Why doesn't it like? Isolate. Let's try this. There we go. It's back to working again. That was wild. Let's go back here. We still have our hole. Cool. Now for the fun part. I think I need to do an extrude of that. But I think I need to take it down by like just as tiniest bit. Otherwise, it won't fit in that hole. Putting an exact size tenon into an exact size hole of the same size uh, is, yeah, not the fit that will work. So easy fix. But first, let's try to remember how I do this. I think it's go back here and doop, doop, doop. We take this, that, that, and that. We're going to go ahead and get to the top view so I'm not struggling with this. We're going to turn off the amethyst. We don't need it now. And we are going to rotate it around center. Hey, look, there it is there too. Uh, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to hit this first. We're going to go back here. Cancel that. Turn this off for a minute. We'll rename this. Rename tendril. And then we'll go turn it off for the moment. And then we'll go back to the sketch and we will zoom in here. We'll do the same thing here that we did just a moment ago. Each of these, turn that into not construction. Hit save, and now it should have a hole. And it does. Hunky dory. All right. Now, the only reason I don't just simply print 4 of the tendrils is because they may not quite fit right. I'm going to model them first. So we turn the tendril back on again, make sure it's still there. It is. So we can turn it back off. And go to this corner because I like it. We're going to go back here. We're going to try to do, where is it? Amethyst sketch. No, no, no. Okay, it is the pool stand sketch. I'm right there. I don't know why I just stopped seeing that. We're going to go to the top again. We're going to just do this, just like that, except that I don't care about that or that. There we go. And then we're going to come in here and do the same thing here. Don't care about that. All right. And then we're going to take both of those things and we're going to try to do a pattern. Where is it? Where is it? Pattern, pattern, pattern. I could always just come here and just type in pattern. Circular pattern. Yay. Except that we're not going to do that many. Where's the dooja what's it? I know there's a handle here somewhere to tell it how many. There are too many dimensions visible right now. I can't see what I'm looking for. Do. Show sketch diagnostic tools. That's not what I want. This is the right place. There should be an angular component here somewhere. Why am I not seeing what I'm looking for? I see that it has them. Do, do, do. I just want to tell it 90 degrees and be done. And 1 and be done. We're going to hit cancel. We'll get it right here in a second. We're going to go in here, amethyst sketch again. Okay, that wasn't what I wanted anyway. Cancel. Top. Cancel. Wasn't the amethyst sketch, it was this pool stand. How do I turn off hide dimensions? Nope. Sketch to uh, right click on the background of the sketch. Anywhere there's no object. Ah, show all parts. Nope. Hide dimensions. No, it's not there. I don't see that. Hide other sketches, hide all sketches. I don't want to delete the dimension, but I don't see a mechanism here like it's saying for hiding dimensions. View toolbar. While editing a sketch, look up at the top toolbar. Click on the I button. I don't see that either. What are you talking about, ChatGPT? See, you cannot trust the AI. They will make up stuff. This is exciting stuff, I know. Uh, Learning Center, App Store, feature, script notices. Do, 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 do. I don't see anything here that looks like it has anything to do with showing and hiding dimensions. There's got to be a help. Yep. Help. We'll do it this way. Hide dimensions. None of that says hide dimensions. To tell you how to do dimensions. That's all lovely and all, but I need to know how to hide the dimensions. Sketch basics, maybe it's in there. Let's just do something even crazier and just type in hide. Does it even show hide show? Select part, studio, sketches, part instances, surfaces, mates, groups. Hide show is a set of toggle commands. Hide show examples. Select the part to hide. Okay, that's easy. That's the eyeball itself. I know what it's talking about there. Just in case it's not obvious, that is this. In the part itself can be hidden. Mhm. You can do the same thing with each of the various elements of effort. I don't know what else to call them. Steps for building your part. I don't see anything for showing or hiding dimensions. Okay, well, crud. I want to be able to see. I'm not convinced. Oh, I just saw that pop in. It wasn't there the last time I looked at it. Oh, crap. That wasn't what I wanted either. Try that again. It's so very close to what I want, but it's not. Ah, there's that. So we want one, one, two. All right. Let's try this one more time. Let's just circular rotate, circular pattern one of them. One. Yeah, that's what I thought. Four. That was, uh-huh. I mean, it's right, but it's not going to be a circular pattern. That's what it boils down to. Hmm. Okay, because it actually replaces this one. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I know why. I know why. That circular pattern already existed. This can go away. This can go away. It was already a circular pattern, I think. Or a mirror. It was probably a mirror. Yeah, it was a mirror. Okay, got it. Now I see what I was doing there. And that means that the tendril should be able to just be mirrored over, or not mirrored, but circular patterned over there. It does mean uh, things might not line up the way I think. Let's find out. Rather than doing another one, we're going to go with this. That was already defined. Now I understand. I had created the square, I had mirrored it, and now I just need to, and I can't mirror it again because I don't want it to be in exactly the same place on the other side. It doesn't make sense for it to be. Uh, I don't think. Let's find out. Let's, now that I'm thinking about it, I might be able to mirror from here to here and here to here, and it'd be fine. It just wouldn't be a circular pattern because this base isn't technically square. It's close, but it's not because I wanted it to look a bit more amorphous. Uh, in other words, natural. So we're going to go back to this, and we're just going to do this. This will be much easier than what I was doing. Go here, stop selecting the thing in the middle. For some reason, I don't know why I've got a tiny little circle in the middle. And then we will, where's the mirror function? There it is, mirror on this construction line. Look at that. That works. Now, the problem is I really do want the tendril that I'd made. Uh, can I do it? I want to see. We're going to hit checkbox, and we are going to, I don't know if I can actually select a whole object and mirror it. Boop a doop a doo. Mirror. And what's my mirror plane? I need to turn on my planes or else I'm never going to know. What plane did I create? Turn that one on. Nope, not that one. I mean, I know which plane I want. I want the plane that this all started with. Why do I not see them? We're going to turn that off for a second. We're going to figure out where my planes are. So I bet I turned it off way up here. Yep, there we go. That's the one. Let's try this again. That. I even do this. Front. Will it even let me do a weird diagonal mirror using two planes? That'd be very odd, but it can't hurt to try. We'll go here. We will say mirror plane. This one. Come on. Nope, that's what I wanted right there. This one and this one. That's what I was afraid would happen. So you can only pick one plane. So we can't mirror. But I can probably, instead of mirror, let's try this again. We will uh, circular pattern and axis of pattern. Fine like that. And then where's, there we go, instance count, 1. Nope, 2. There we go. But it's not in the right place. That's what I was afraid would happen. Mirror wise, if it was done as a mirror, that would actually work. I mean, if it had been done, oh, come on, Jack, think hard. If it had been done um, where those holes were literally in four corners, the tendril would work perfectly because it would be circular, going around it in a circle like that. Makes me think that I want to adjust how I'm doing these holes. And adjust it maybe closer to the middle of the pool or something. I don't know yet. Let's put in 4 of these. Because see, it wraps around it nicely. Go to this corner. If we go directly up, you can see, there, go flat front facing. It goes around it beautifully. Uh, we can even turn the amethyst back on to see it. Goes around it beautifully. That being said, because they're not positioned right, they end up going in weird places. Um, there's that one. There's that one. So 3 of them are perfect. Nope, they're not. Okay, I see it now. Something just isn't quite lined up right for that to all be perfect. Makes me think this isn't going to work the way I was hoping. And I will just have to create 4 lofts. Not the worst thing to happen, now that I know how to do it. And it also would mean I could actually make them unique. I wonder if I were to make a plane based, how can I do that? I don't know how to create a plane diagonally. Offset, normal. I don't want an offset plane. All right, let's turn those planes back off again. They're not helping me at the moment. Let's instead focus on what I have, and then I'll worry about the next step, just to make sure that I know how I'm doing it. So we will, got to be a way. I know how. New sketch here. Yep. And then there's got to be a way to transfer. Come on. There we go. Back to this. Use. Which one's use? Ah, use. Click the edges, faces that you want to project into your new sketch. This will create a purple reference geometry. It sure did. Now you can offset them. All right. And now I want a rectangle. Actually, it's not a rectangle, but it is. Center point rectangle. Yeah, that's probably the better way. Yeah, okay. Snug fit. 0.2. We're going to do a 0.2 offset. So we'll do this. We'll do this line and this line. 0.2 millimeters. And then this line and this line, 0.2 millimeters. That offset from each side or total side to side? Hole is 10 by 10. A snug fit for a snug fit, make it 9.6 to 9.7. Okay, that's what I thought. So I did this right. Awesome. That's done with that. So now that means that I should be able to take this, come on, and extrude. We add, and we need to go, make sure we're going in the right direction. We need depth to be base, nope, base, thick. Okay, what did I call the dang thing? Go to my variable table. Width, top, base, radius. Nope. Really? We're going to stop that. We're going to go look and see what we did. So that would be, I need a way to be able to, is there a way to, oop, there is. New folder. Uh, Vine 1. Vine 1 right there. Move this in there. Okay. Select all these. Move within. Thank you. Things get so messy if you don't actually organize your stuff. 3D fit spline, that goes inside there too. The loft goes inside there. Nope, come on, did that wrong. Bloop, 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 bloop. There we go. Somebody came out to say hello. Now we try this again. We go here, we did revolve, we did plane, we did fit spline, spline fit to printer. What? What? Good job. Come out of your home and then poop on me. Go eat. All right. I'll worry about this in a minute. I need to know pool stand sketch, extrude. Nope, That's not what I meant. We're done here. We did. Oh, we just simply defined it. 1/4 inch. That's perfect. So then we go here, we do this, and we do extrude, and we again do 0.25 inch that way. Looking good. So now if I turn off tendril, it does. All right, good. And then we turn on base and make sure it doesn't stick out of the base. It does not. Good. We look up at the bottom of the base. We can hide this stuff. Come on. There we go. Bottom of the base. And there it is. Flip fit. All right. That's looking awesome. Now I'm going to try something crazy. And I'm going to see if there's such a thing as copy. Duplicate. Nope. Oh, yeah, that's probably transform. Let's try transform. And we're going to go copy part. And we're going to say line or point. We're going to take that point and we're going to put it. Really, I can't see it. I know what I can do. We're going to go to top. We're going to flip it over. And then we're going to do something crazy. We're going to go, nope. That point. We're going to try to put it there. I'm amazed if this works. It put it there. Incredible. Now, I don't think the rest of this is going to work the way I think, but we can try it. We can do transform, I think. Let me think about this. Rotate, revolve. Now, we definitely want to transform. We want to do a transform that is translate by line, rotate. There we go. Oh, amazing. Then we're going to go 90 degrees. This works. I'll be amazed. And then we're going to go. There it is. It worked. Now, we're going to say yes. I don't think this is actually going to work, but we're going to say yes. And then we're going to come back down here and turn the amethyst back on and see if it collided. It collided. That's what I thought would happen. So much for shortcuts. All right. So we'll first go transform one. I'm going to make sure I'm right about this. And instead of this being the place, let's go back to turning this off for a minute. Let's go back to the top. That corner then becomes that corner. We'll hit OK. And then in here, transform to, we will say instead of 90, we'll say 180. Because I don't think this will work either. Let's go ahead and turn the amethyst back on and see if we have collision. Yep, we have collision. So somehow an amethyst that is centered over the top of a splash pool and those things mirrored around the splash pool don't work the way I thought. All right. Instead of that one, go to top. Let's try it in the other one too. My battery die? Where the heck is my mouse? My mouse is gone. No, my mouse isn't gone. It's just not. What the heck? Escape. Really? Well, this is incredible. Can't say I've ever had this happen before. And my mouse has died. But that shouldn't stop the trackpad from working, which it has. Weird. Let's try these. I haven't tried, no, wrong size batteries. That's why I haven't tried those. I don't have any of the right sized batteries in here. That's incredible. Well, things being what they are, let's see if I can get this a different way. First off, we'll do that. How in the world? One moment. Okay, I have that back. That's good. I don't think it was a battery issue. Like the whole kit and caboodle took a nap. Because now I have my that back again. Technology, man. I work in it every day, all day, and it still gives me grief sometimes. There we go. All right, back to what I was doing, which was get back to here. I was editing this transform. I went from there to there. Okay. And then we go here and go back to 90 again. Again, I don't think it'll work, but it's easy to undo. Oops, not that. We go minus 90. Yep, there we go. Yeah, again, does it collide? It does. So that means I didn't do something right. And that's higher than it should be too. How the hell did that happen? Okay, doesn't matter. I know how that happened, and that means I need to go back to this one, get rid of that, Which one did I use? Here. Ah, I see. I accidentally went with the bottom one when I did it. Let's try that. That's correct. And it still collides. So yeah. All right, so we can't use that mechanism unless I figure out why my squares aren't where I thought they were. I've got thoughts on that. I'm pretty sure it has something to do, and I can fix this pretty easily. And if I can, then all of this becomes moot. Get rid of that, and I then can do rotational if I do this right. So we go back up to full stand sketch. We turn off the amethyst. We go to top view. And what it all boils down to is I don't think I was as consistent about um, location on everything. We can confirm that with some simple guidance geometry here. So first thing, construction geometry. We'll just come all the way out here just so it's out of my way. Come all the way back over here. There we go. Got some horizontal, we got some vertical. Now I can do some measurements off of those. So we'll go D from there to here. Yep, that's fine. We're not going to mess with that yet. And then we do D, and I bet you from there to there. Nope, that wasn't what I wanted to do at all. Let's try that again. D from there to there. Yeah, things just aren't square, which we knew they weren't square. That's fine. What's interesting to me, there to there, that's what I meant to do is that. Come on. D, there to there. Now, is that the same as the other one? 7 point, yeah, it is. So we should have been able to at least go 180 and it should have worked. I don't know why. Go from there to there. And similarly, that's equal. So maybe this not, let's see. So we'll go Z, 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 Z. Let's go from here to here. It's incredible to me that I was able to get this far and not be having as much trouble as I am. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to do it again. We're going to go from here to here. Should be identical. It is. And here to here, again, identical. And then finally, should be the same here to here. And I don't need to worry about the next one because it doesn't make any sense too. So something about the, how in the world would something that is based from this spot and wraps around a round object that's based in the middle not result in a symmetrical outcome on the opposite side? It just doesn't make sense to me. this thing should be able to go over here without a problem. And if I just use the standard, oh, where is it? Uh, Circular pattern, and the axis being this spot right here, and then we tell it to, that should end up being right there and not run into anything. Oh, how about that? I must have done it wrong the other time. Okay, so it is working. That at least that tendril is correct. All right, we can keep that. And then I think the whole kit and caboodle should just rotate around like this and like this. And if I do another circular pattern, and again, turn off the amethyst for a minute. We go here and there, and then just say I want two of those. Oh, oh, but it's not a circular pattern at that point. Got it. It is not a circular pattern at that point. Instead, it is a rotational transform. That's still not that hard to do. Transform, not by line, but just rotate. And then we go we go 90. And we say that the axis is, nope, not 90. What is it then? And we want copy. That much is obvious. We're going to get this 100. Go 110. 102. I'm going to end up having to delete the tenons and do them again. That's all right. That I can live with. Let's do this. We're going to do something crazy before we do this. Let's go first and get rid of this extrude. And that's fine. We'll deal with that in a minute. I know how I did that. I know how to do it again. What we need, turn this off. What I need is a dimension that helps me know the angle between this and this. We go back to, okay, we can do that. We go back to this sketch, and we'll go ahead top view again. We don't need this one anymore. This was 52 degrees, that much I knew. And if it's 52 degrees there, and it's 52 degrees there, let's go, yep, then that means it's 104 degrees. Awesome, I can do that. Any other lines I don't need? I don't think I need this line. Do I? Yeah, I dimensioned off of it. No. Yes, I dimensioned, but I didn't need to because it can just get it off of the center point there to there. That's fine. None of that really matters. I don't know why I even dimensioned that. Oh, I do. Now I see why. I just wanted to make sure they were equal. All right. Hi. Let's go. Didn't break anything. Good. Otherwise, I'd have to undo some stuff. Now we're going to go here, and we are 104 degrees. We're going to select these and this, and we're going to do circular pattern. No, we're not. We're going to do transform. We're going to translate. We're going to rotate. We're going to do 104. And we have to tell it the axis, which is that one. That put it in just the right place. We're going to say copy the part. We're going to open up, or we're going to turn back on the amethyst. We're going to see, did it hit it? Oh my goodness. I love math sometimes. That just looks amazing. Awesome. Okay, we keep that. Do, 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 do. All right. Now we come back to this bottom view. There we go. For kicks, we just grab this. Actually, we need to open the sketch first. There we go. Bottom view, easy peasy mac and cheesy. These are just offsets. Make sure nothing goes wrong. We take that and we do an amazing circular pattern. Come on, why are we not getting my circular pattern going on here? Oh, I know why, because I haven't selected anything. Okay, let's do this. I knew I forgot something. First this, go to bottom. Nice flight. What I really wanted to do was this again. Nope, not that. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Not that sketch. This sketch. There you go. Zoom in. Make sure we're selecting the right component. I don't want that part. Why do you keep giving me that part? All right, fine. This, 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 this. Yep. Okay. Bottom, circular pattern. How did it know? That was awesome. Then we say that we want 4. Nope, circular pattern ain't it. I forgot about that. 2. There we go. Circular pattern isn't even necessary. Let's do it this way. I like what I'm doing. We're doing that. Let's go back to here. I'm going to turn back on some planes that I can use for mirroring. Front, right, beautiful. Now we just mirror. It's much easier than circular pattern. Why wasn't this obvious already? I guess I didn't. Really? Let's turn off all the things I don't want. All I want is this sketch. Oh, I know why, because I wasn't in the sketch anymore. Yeah, that's what it was. I want to be in the sketch. I want this, 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 this. I want to mirror here. Thank you. Then we're going to do it again. This. Come on. Control Z. Come on. Thank you. What sketches am I seeing that I don't want to see? Rename. Control 1. Rename. Control 2. Rename. Tendril 3. The good news is that means I can get away with just printing the same tendril 4 times. Tendril 4. All right. Now, go away. I don't want to see you guys. I don't want to see any of this. I just want to see my sketch. Dag nabbit. And in here, what can I turn off here that I won't have to see anymore? This. Why do I not get to hide that anymore? Okay, I don't care. Oop. There's no way to not see them anymore? Oh well. We're going to go here in the sketch. We're going to now be able to go this, 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 and this. And now we should be able to mirror that line. And then I should be able to just select all that to make life easier. Why did you do that? Did not ask you to do that. Control. There we go. Just mirror them for crying out loud. Thank you. Or, just the whole kit and caboodle. There you go. All right. Mirror that line. Okay, that didn't work. Select entities to. There we go. Interesting. Do it again. Mirror line. This one. Thank you. That was harder than I expected it to be. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and now we can safely extrude this. This, this, and this. Extrude. 0.25 inch. And then we pull it down this way and we change the direction and we hit add and we need the merge scope, which is this, 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 and this. Hunky dory. You turn them back on again, make sure they actually got them. They did. Hunky dory. That is the completed draft. I can now send these to print, assuming everything actually went where I wanted it to. It looks like it did. I am stoked. No pun intended, Kevin. All right. I am pretty freaking happy with that. The only thing that would be different is honestly, these would probably just go to a point when I'm done tapering it for actual use. But this now means it's time to uh, print these things. I need to export. I love it. I think it looks pretty cool. And of course, um, because of the offsets of these placements, it doesn't look as regular because these two are closer together. These two are closer together. These two are farther apart. These two are farther apart. They're about the same, um, or I should say, they're identical in ways. They're all identical in ways, but because of the way things are oriented, it's not obvious that they're identical. So I can literally forge them to be identical, but by the time I then put them into the base, it won't be noticeable. The hardest part is to get that level of consistency. Number one, I may need to make a jig for those, and I will have to be very careful about um, the holes I punch and where I punch them. Um, as I punch a hole, it may shift things a little bit. So I'll have to be very careful about punch a hole, uh, measure to where the next hole has to be. Or as a matter of fact, I probably would lay it all out first, um, after I've put in my wells for the ripples, and then I would have to punch a hole where I had initially laid it out, then recheck my layout to see that things didn't shift any, punch again, et cetera, et cetera. In the long run, I'll probably have to do some tweaking of everything no matter what. And then it'll look even more organic because everything will have shifted just a little bit. And that's no big deal because that's the whole point, is for it to look organic, as if this crystal is being lifted out of a pool. Um, so, and if I'm really careful, I might even be able to blue the pool. I won't be able to. I don't think there's a temper color that aligns with like green tendrils. I might be able to get the temper to be like uh, peacock colored, though. In other words, the diversity of temper colors on those, and then lacquer them so that the temper colors don't ever change. I don't think they would anyway, but I don't want rust to happen in any case. So it's time to 3D print it and then send it to my sister. I think she's probably thinking it's long past due, but she actually started up her own 3D printing business. Not 3D printing business, I'm sorry. Uh, gem, stone business, crystal business, gemstones, crystals, etc. Um, so I think this is going to be a centerpiece for that she won't end up selling, I bet, for all of that. And so, yeah. And then she's talked about selling my 3D prints as well. So that would be awesome too. Um, and yeah, it's time for me to 3D print this and find out if it's going to be sufficient to her needs. Send her off the resulting 3D prints. So I need to get these parts exported, and the base now is modified from the test base that I originally printed just to get a feel for how it would look. Um, So let me pull the test base over here just so folks can see what I'm talking about. Um, but for everybody's to be reminded, these are the images I started with as far as what her crystal looks like. And it's very pretty and huge. And these are the measure where her thumb shows up in each of the photos is where I got my measurements. And part of me is like, if I don't know what the facets are, the cragginess of the crystal, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so I don't know how well this will work for her, but that's why we did it in 3D prints. So I could send it off to her, ask her if this will work, and if it will, great. I'll start forging it. If not, then we'll work on it. The size of these tendrils, I don't think should be a risk for weight. It may be I need to size all of these up in the long run. If so, we'll find out. I don't expect the 3D print to be able to hold um, her crystal, um, that'll have the structural integrity necessary to hold the crystal. But you never know. So yeah, let's get these exported. I only need to export 3 of the parts. Since the tendrils are all identical, just here to be able to be seen. And I will, let's see, export and do. You know what? Cancel this for a second. I think I'm going to base. We're going to set, I know there's a way to do it. Edit material. There we go. And it is going to be made out of PLA. That's fine. And edit material. Actually, let's just do this. We're going to go doop, 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 doop. And we're going to make edit material for 5 parts. Make sure they're all PLA. Cool. Then we're going to come in here and we're going to go edit appearance. And we're going to make these something different. Let's see. This is a color I'm pretty sure I can get through temper treatment. I'll see if I've got any purple to work with. Although purple isn't really great. It doesn't complement that. I think I'll go with straw. Straw is another color I know I can get in temper colors. I'd love to do green. I just don't think it's possible to get temper colors in green. Let's find out. Can I temper paint um, steel to a green tint? No. Alternate heat-based and chemical processes that can give me a greenish color on steel. I can get straw, as we know. We can do brown. That's an interesting color to represent. I could actually do brown. That makes more sense. Let's go that one there. And then the pool, we'll do edit appearance. That we know we can do blue. So we'll go with blue. The amethyst we already know is actually um, purple colored. Eh, something like that. So there is basically turn it around. We'll zoom out just a hair. Tilt it. I need to send a screenshot of that to my sister. And we'll go screenshot, capture area. And we'll do that. We'll go copy. We'll go here. We'll send her the image. Not there. Come on, up here. There you go. Paste. I love being in an integrated environment where I can do copy and paste from my laptop to design. Let her know that the design is finished and will be printing the parts for test assembly ahead of shipping them to you. Do you want the mock crystal too? There we go. In the meantime, let's go ahead and export. Actually, cancel this. Grab all of this. Can I export all of that? And as a total, as 3MF. And we will call this amethyst stand. And look at that. And look at the time, just in time. Export unique parts as individual files. No, we're going to go put them all together. We're going to see how that works. We're going to export. There we go. Downloading. Open file. Let's see if the slicer likes it. It may not. Bring it over here. And then I'm going to share that part with you too. And we'll go here, sources, window capture. And instead of that, we will share Orca Slicer. And then we will pay attention to the fact that Orca Slicer is trying to ask me a question that I can't see where it's asking me. Because it's probably somewhere else. Come on. All right, let's do this. It's asking me. I just don't know where it's actually asking me. There it is. Now, where the hell did it put that dialogue? That's hilarious. I can't see the dialogue. There. That's hilarious that it's got a dialogue on screen I can't see. Where it put it, I don't know. So it's time to minimize all sorts of things just to see if I can find it again. All right, we're gonna cheat. We're gonna do this and hope that it suddenly shows up somewhere. There it is. Then I can hit yes. Plug everything back in again. Yes, yes. Login information. Yes, yes. Hey, look at that. An object is laid over the boundary of the plate or exceeds the height limit. Yes, it does. And that's all fine. It is fine. We're going to create new plates. And we're going to grab parts. And we're gonna I did something wrong. Amethyst stand. There we go. That's why. I need to somehow separate, split. There we go. Split to parts. What's amazing, actually, no, we're going to duplicate. We're going to clone because I want to see it. I think it's cool that we can see. Um, then we're gonna split to parts. You're not seeing what I'm sharing, what I'm meaning to share. So let's fix that. Orca slicer. There we go. That's what I meant to share. And what you're seeing is this is what it looks like when it's all put together. But it's going to complain because that just doesn't make any sense. Um, Control Win Z. No, there we go. Win Z. There we go. So there it is, not making a lick of sense to it. And that's fine. Matter of fact, if we're smart, we will uh, delete this plate because it doesn't even make sense. There we go. We'll leave it out there because it'll look cool. But in the meantime, um, we're going to take this one. We're going to split to parts. And we're going to, come on, split. Oh, target object contains only one part and cannot be split. Okay. Split to objects. There we go. Split to objects. And now, all of these are set up to be using something I don't want to be using. So we need to tell it that I don't want to print it. Yes, I do. I want to come in here. I want to change its color. Now, amethyst. Amethyst color to purple. There we go. Doesn't that look cool? And then we're going to take it and we're going to put it on a different plate altogether. We're going to take this and move it off up here. Take this, move it over here. We're actually going to flip it. Not like that though. We're going to place on face. We're going to put it on that face. It'll be much more stable printing that way than the other way. So there's that. And we'll hit arrange. There's those there. Arrange. There we go. Puts it nicely on the plate. And then we're going to create another plate. I'm going to take these. Uh, we're going to change its color. We're going to do this real quick. This is the stuff that's in it right now, but that's not what's going to stay in it. We're going to set that to brown. And then we're going to set the tendrils to brown. Come on. Brown. And then we're going to take each of those. I thought there was a way to do this, but I guess not. And we're going to move them. Nope. Stop, stop, stop. To plate 3. Nope. Let's try that again. Guess I can't do it like that. Move. Huh. Interesting. So we'll just go over here and do it this way. Plate 3. And then we will do arrange. What? Did that really actually work? That looks like it would be off the side of the plate. Hey, you. You cannot stand on my keyboard. It is not allowed. Don't do it. Don't do it. She wants to bite my hand. There we go. What's really funny to me is it thinks that that's the optimal positioning. She's not biting my hand for not for bad reasons. It's I don't know why they have a natural instinct to want to bite at things that look like they could be edible, I guess. And so that little wound on my knuckle, it keeps biting at. It only hurts just a tiny bit. I see tendril fours too close to others. There may be collisions when printing. That's okay. I don't think any of this tendril business is going to work out like this anyway, but we're going to do this. We're going to go arrange, and it thinks that is a better arrangement. I'm shocked that it thinks that that all fits on the build plate like that. And I know this won't work the way it is. So we'll end up slicing that in a minute. In the meantime, we now have our pieces separated. Keep them separated. Da, 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 da. Change that to blue. And then this becomes blue. And lo and behold, there are the colors that we had in the photo. So the big things that need to get printed are the tendrils and this. So I'm going to go ahead and file, save project as, amethyst stand again, save, yes, replace that, because now I've got both the assembled version and the disassembled for print version. Pool, base, amethyst, uh, mock-up, and finally tendrils. And then save it again. Beautiful. And the thing that I want to print first, the tendrils. And because I have now a printer that um, doesn't have the bed moving back and forth, this probably will be fairly stable, but I still think it's going to need supports. So we're going to come in here. We're going to go back to global. We're going to make sure supports are enabled. Uh, we're going to do, we're going to see if free works. We're going to slice it and see how that behaves. Um, nope, no biting my ears. We're going to go here. We're going to go slice, plate. There we go. Interesting. It didn't feel it needed to support all this. That is unexpected. Yeah. All right. With that done, I'm going to close this. I'm actually going to um, open it. Discard. I need to update my my various slicers, and I'm gonna need to let you guys go so I can then work with my sons who should be showing up not too long from now. Um, and I'll get this printed off and and shipped and all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, I'm going to switch to this, and I'm going to give the same challenge I give every week, um, especially on this Father's Day when all sorts of other kind of craziness is going on. This is a great time to ignore the craziness, um, and just spend time with family, enjoying each other's company, and being a light in their lives. Be a light everywhere you can go, if you can, and put love out in the world. Love and light, everybody. Kevin, it was a pleasure having you hanging out. We're here with me for a little bit. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know if you know if what I'm doing is interesting to folks, but this is one of those things where I needed to get this done for my sister, and this now gets to be a forked project, as soon as she gives me some feedback. But I think this is going to look amazing in steel. So there's a yeah, exactly. Yeah, this pirate has a peacock instead of a parrot, but yes. And then part of me wonders if I should make those tendrils out of copper. Make the base out of steel, but then make the tendrils out of copper. Would it be strong enough to hold the weight of a crystal? So it would look really amazing if I did it that way. So I may have to give it a go. I also know uh, bronze has a decent amount of strength as well. I don't know if copper and bronze have the same strength or not. So I'll have to investigate some of that and just and see because bronze would also look really good. Um, So, and would patina over time, the copper would. I don't know if the bronze would patina to green, and that would look amazing too. I wouldn't seal it. Instead, I would let it just patina, and it would be brown and green, and that would look phenomenal, I think. So, anyway, as I said, love and light, and you enjoy your youngest there, Kevin, and get some shop time. Love to all.